All right, so we're going to write the equation of a line from the picture, and we're going to use slope-intercept form to graph today. Finally, okay? So t-tables, you still are going to do sum of, but we're going to use slope-intercept form as well, which is way better, okay? I like it a lot better. So we've got a quick review, so let's add this to our notes. X equals 5 and y equals negative 2. You guys remember these lines? What they look like? All right, so the way you remember, the x-graphs cut through the x-axis, right? So an x-axis goes this way. In order to cut through it, we're going to go this way. So the x-graph cuts through 5, and the y-graph cuts through negative 2. So you guys try those on your paper, and then we'll check it. So graph each of those separately, and we'll check it. So for x equals 5, you guys should get this line right here. Cuts through the x-graph at 5, right? And for y equals negative 2, we should get this line right here. Cuts through the y-axis at negative 2. Okay. All right. Slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form, write that down. That yellow thing is really important. Y equals mx plus b. You need to know this for a long time. All right? So m is always the slope. Every time, the number in front of x is the slope. And b is always the y-intercept, which is where it crosses the y-axis. So we're going to graph a bunch of these. You guys want to get really good at this. Okay? Instead of t-tables now, you're going to graph like this. So you have to have the y by itself in order to graph like this. So everybody have this written down? Dylan, you got that in your notes? Okay, so let's try one. So let's write that problem down. Y equals 1/3 x plus 2, and draw a quick little graph sketch. So we always start with the 2, which is the y-intercept. Okay, the 2 is always the y-intercept, the one that doesn't have a variable with it. So that means that it crosses the y-axis at positive 2. So here's my y-axis, and it's going to cross at positive 2. So we're going to put a point at 2. Okay. Now we've got a slope. So 1/3 is my slope. It's positive, positive. So everybody write this down on your paper here. If you have 1/3 slope, we always make it a fraction. Even if it's a whole number, you'll put it over 1. Okay. The top number every time is going to go up or down because the top number is your change in y. Are you writing this down? You should have this written down. And then 3 in the bottom means you're going left or you're going right. So if the top number is positive, do you guys think that means up or down? It's positive. That means up. Good. And on the denominator, if it's also positive, do you guys think that means right or left? Good. So because this is positive, we are going up, and the denominator is positive, so that would be to the right. So we're going to start at 2. So everybody put your pen or pencil on 2 on your y-axis of your really nice graph. Then we're going to all move up 1, right 3, and we're going to put a point. And from that point, now we're going to move up 1, right 3. And from that point, up 1, right 3. Okay. Do you all agree that if I were to do a negative over a negative, that is the same thing as a positive 1/3? Okay. So now if the top number is negative, which direction do we go? Down. And if the bottom number is negative, which direction do we go? Left. Let's try it. So go back to your y-intercept of positive 2. If I go down 1, left 3, put a point. Does that point line up with my other points? Yep. Good news. Okay, down 1, left 3, put a point. Down 1, left 3, put a point. And finally, we get to connect them because we're drawing a line, and we put arrows. When you do these, I need you to go all the way across the graph and put arrows to show it goes forever, okay? All right, Micaiah, do you have a question? Yeah, which is the same slope, right? So what we have here is a positive slope. If we read from left to right, which is how we read, right? We do, all of us do, okay? We're going uphill. If you're going uphill, that's positive slope, right? All right, let's try another one. So whenever you're doing slope, m is the slope, that's the number in front of x. It's change in y over change in x. Okay? What's happening to the y? What's happening to the x? By looking at the graph, we should be able to tell if the slope's positive or negative, which should also match our equation, so the number in front of x, whether that's positive or negative, right? So just by looking at these two lines, can we tell which is positive, which is negative? Yes. What is this first line here? Yep. So if we're going uphill, we have a positive slope. So the number in front of x will be a positive number. If we're going downhill, we have a negative slope. Make sense? Cool. All right, write that one down and draw another grid. Separate graph. Don't do it on the same one. It's kind of confusing if you do. So, can you guys tell me which number is the y-intercept? 3. Good. Positive 3 is the y-intercept. Can you guys tell me which number is the slope? Negative 1/2 is the slope. Excellent. All right, we always start with the y-intercept. So everybody on your grid, we're going to put a point at positive 3 on the y-axis. Point at positive 3. Now, when you have a slope of negative 1/2, the negative can either be in the numerator or in the denominator. But there can only be one negative in order for it to be a negative slope, right? So either way, and let's start with it in the numerator. So let's start with this slope right here. If the negative one's in the top, so the top number always goes up or down, right? If it's negative, which way are we going to go? Down. Up or down for the top number. The bottom number goes left or right. It's a positive 2 now in the denominator, so which way do we go? To the right. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to go from our y-intercept down 1, right 2. So everybody put your pencil here. We're going to go down 1, right 2, put a point. Down 1, right 2, put a point. Down 1, right 2. Okay, go all the way across your grid with your perfectly lined up points. Some of you guys, maybe not so much on your paper. Should pass out your graph paper today. All right. Now the other slope, you guys, let's make sure it's the same thing here. What if I put the negative in the denominator? Well, now my top number 1 is positive. So Josh, up or down? Good. Now my bottom number is negative. So Jackie, left or right? Good. So everybody start back on your y-intercept. And now we're going to go up 1. Left 2. We're still on the line. Up 1, left 2. Up 1, left 2. Up 1, left 2. All right, and then when you guys do your graph, go all the way across your grid and put some arrows. By looking at the line, Caleb, if I read from left to right, are we going uphill or downhill? Downhill, and that matches the fact that I have a negative slope. Right? Good news. Party on. Let's try this one. Draw a really nice grid. Raise your hand if you're a terrible graph maker and you need some help. Every single person is like, I want a graph. Yeah. Sorry, I don't have more of these. Here, you guys can kind of pass it around, but we're going to start this one here. So you should probably sketch one on your paper. If you get it in time, good news. All right. So first of all, we have to know which is the slope and which is the y-intercept. So Julia, which number up there is the slope? Very good. The number in front of x. Dylan, what's the y-intercept? Yep. Jordan, which point are we going to plot first? Yep. So everybody on your grid on the y-axis, we're going to put a point at -4. Okay, my slope is -4/5. That means I can have either the -4 on top or a -5 on bottom, and those mean the same thing. Okay. So let's say I put the -4 on the top. So Leah, if I have -4 on the top, which direction do I go? Very good. Down. If I have +5 in the bottom, Alex, which direction do I go? Very good. So everybody put your pencil on -4 here. And we're going to count down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I put a point here? No, we have to go right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I going to run out of room if I keep going here? Yeah, I'm going to get off my grid. So let's use the other one now to get some more points on my graph. So this time I've got +4 in the top. So Drew, +4 in the top, which goes which way? Up. And Nico, -5 in the bottom goes which way? Good job. So from my y-intercept, we're going to go up 4 this time. And left 5. And put a point. And we can do another one, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Draw your line. And if we read from left to right on this graph, Andrew, am I going uphill or downhill on this graph? Downhill, so that matches with my negative slope, so I did it right. Okay? Oh no, what if I have one like this? All right, write this one down. So much fun with graphing today. What's wrong with this? There's no fraction. What else? The y is not alone, okay? In order to use slope-intercept form, we have to have y equals mx plus b, right? I can't graph a y-intercept, I can't graph a slope unless the y is by itself. So we have to get the y by itself. So Riley, what would I do first to start isolating for y? Yes. Very good. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides. So we have 3y equals x minus 5. And Evie, what would I do next to get the y by itself? Close. Sophia? There you go. Okay. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. All right. Be careful right here. You guys should all be doing this with me in your notes, because this is like the hardest part of this. Riley, are you writing this down? Good. Aaron, what number's in front of x that we don't see? 1. Good. We need to know that. All right. There is a 1 in front of x. So my slope is really 1/3. I'm going to put that fraction in front so I can see it as a slope. And then, oh no, we have this really fun fraction, -5/3. This one looks like fun to graph. All right, so now we have to know what the slope is and what the y-intercept is. So Ben, which number is the slope? Good, the slope is the number in front of x. So there's my slope. And Bethany, what's the y-intercept? Very good. -5/3. How do I graph -5/3 on the y-axis? That's weird. Anybody know? -5/3. Drew. Yeah. What if I make this a mixed number? How many times does 3 go into 5? Once. What's left over? All right. -1 2/3. That's a lot easier to graph, right? -1 2/3. Is it going to be perfect? No, that's okay. So here's -1 right here, and 2/3. It's almost to 2. That's annoying, okay? And now we can do the slope. So make sure your mark is almost to -2. So what we're going to do for our slope is positive, positive, I've got a slope of 1/3. So positive, positive means I'm going to move, Isaac, which directions? Up and right. So when you go up 1, you should be like a little above -1. And then over 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then when you go up 1, now I'm a little bit above 0. 1, 2, 3. So we're just a little off. Up 1, over 3. So all my points are just a little bit above the grid. That's annoying, right? And then we can also go down and to the left, because that would be negative over negative, which is also positive. And draw your line. I missed. Ooh, perfecto. Okay, arrows on the end of that for full credit here to show it goes forever. That one was super fun. Okay, what if we have the line, and now I want to find the equation of the line? So just sketch that. Doesn't need to be perfect. Just a quick sketch, okay? Longest notes ever. Okay, y equals mx plus b. Only 2 things we need to find, right? What's the b? The y-intercept. We need to find it. Yeah, you're already telling me it. That's good. What's the m? What do we need to find? Slope. We just need y-intercept and slope, right? Y-intercept. That should be super easy, right? Where does the line cross the y-axis? Monica, where do you think it crosses the y-axis? Yep. So right here is where it crosses the y-axis. That would be my y-intercept. That means for b, I'm going to plug in -1. Okay. Now we need a slope. A slope. We need a rise over a run. What you want to find are 2 points that meet exactly in the grid. So see this point right here meets exactly in this cross grid. Does this point meet in a grid? No. Does this point meet in a grid? No. Does this point meet in a grid? Yes. Okay. Does this one? No. Does this one? No. Does this one? Yes. So you need to find the points where they cross exactly in the grid. And then we're going to look at, well, how far do I rise and how far do I run? So the change in y is the up and down, and the change in x is the left to right. How far did I go up? How far did I go over? Okay, is that slope positive or negative? Are we going uphill or downhill? Okay, good. So my slope is 3 over 1. Do we need to put 3 over 1? No. Okay, so final answer looks like this. However, if I had a slope of 3, you would put it over 1 so that you would go up 3, right 1, right? Isaac?
Would there be a slope that's like the last one where it's like not ever on like
Oh, no, where you can't tell exactly where it is? No. You're going to have nice ones. Okay, good question. Oh, whiteboards. Let's try it out.